What a year for Forza Racing, the reigning European champions, the reigning world champions. We go to the junior final and Forza Racing start. They dominate the front row of the grid. Patterson, the wee lad from Scotland, leads the field out of pit lane. He will start on pole position with the reigning European champion, Johnny, the Englishman Edgar, on the outside of the front row of the grid. They have had an awesome season. European champions, world champions, and they're 1 and 2 on the grid here in atrocious conditions here at Adria. This is the grid. Patterson and Edgar, the Brits for Forza Racing, 1 and 2 on the grid. Brijan, Theo Verneson, Giuseppe Fusco, Francesco Pizzi, Hugo Sass, Dino Boganovic, Maya Veg. She won the WSK Final Cup last year in the mini class. She's been superb all weekend in the Luxor kart. And she starts this one out of grid number 9 alongside Eva Malay. Rafael Camara, the Brazilian, has also been superb. O Menino do Brasil, Rafael Camara, P11 on the grid alongside Javier Sagrera. Some big names further back on the grid. Luigi Coluccio back in 21. Robin Sarge, the Estonian. Frederick Kickenborg just scrapes into the grid, as does Kirill Small. Classified efficiently 17th in the pre-final this morning and just gets in through to the final. Also Alex Catalyst starting midfield, the Singaporean. Harry Thompson on the 8th row of the grid. Starts out of 15. He came from grid number 16 to finish second in the pre-final. But after all the penalties were applied, official time and classification, Harry again has to come from midfield. Can he win it from there? It's a tough ask, but Harry is a tough character. We are ready for the start, the final of the juniors here this afternoon. Look at the Forza Racing team drivers. Well, one of them at the moment at least. Edgar is in 302, actually looking for Patterson. Something has happened to the pole sitter, who is way, way down the field. He's only coming back to at the back of the group now. Oh, this is a disaster. We were saying what a good year they were having. We will go around one more time. Dexter Patterson is midfield and trying to find his way back into pole position where he should rightfully start. So at the moment, pole position is empty. Patterson, the reigning world champ, to start on pole. And he's trying to find his way through to start on the front row of the grid. Look at the conditions. You can barely make out who is who. 302 is Edgar. We look for Patterson. Where is the pole sitter? Where is the Scot? I can tell you he's at the very back of the field, just looking out the window beyond the rain. He's at the very back of the field. In fact, just being told that Patterson had it turned around on the opening roll-up laps. The conditions are tough even for the reigning world champion. Oh, Patterson from pole position. He's down at the back of the field. If we go green, he will have an almighty task to win here this afternoon. We are ready for a start. We don't have a pole sitter. Alexi Brijan says, how good's this? We go green. Patterson misses the start. He comes across the line in 28th place. Down through turn number 1, a relatively clean start. But look at the spray. Edgar is the race leader. Alexi Brijan up into second spot. What a brilliant start also by Giuseppe Fusco. Up into P3, the boy from Naples. But moving up into the lead now, Alexi Brijan. Contact going down into the hairpin for the first time. Karts going everywhere. There is the Russian Alexi Brijan, who leads the way for Baby Race. Edgar back to the second spot. That's Fusco with the white bodywork. In third, another great start for Giuseppe Fusco, LKE powered Tony Kart. He's in third spot, currently on the podium, but there's a long way to go. We will keep an eye out for Patterson, see what's happened to the reigning world champion. They'll come across the line, Brijan sideways. Catalyst going through, there's Coluccio. Brijan is the race leader from Edgar and Fusco. The Italian runs wide in P3. Hugo Sasset is the German up into P4. A brilliant start from Hugo, and Victor Gustafson, the Swede, who's had to fight his way from the back of the field throughout all the heats after not setting a decent time in qualifying, now rounds out the top 5. Pitsy, Harry Thompson, here comes Harry. He's now up into 7th from the 8th row of the grid. No mucking around from the Englishman. Meanwhile, Patterson is up into 18th spot. He missed the start and he's in 18th. Well, the conditions may well favour us, Scott. The yellow flag is out. That is for Eva Malay. We've also lost Rafael Kamada, Paul Aron, and Sal Vadiara from Johannesburg in South Africa. Well, we know many of you are watching on down there in SA. Unfortunately for Sal, he is not having a lekker race this afternoon. Brijan from Edgar. Gustafson now moves up into third spot. The factory Tony Kart. We wouldn't have thought that 48 hours ago when he qualified near the back of the grid. Had to come from about 18th or 20th in each of the heats. And he's now up on the podium. The Swede Gustafson in P3. Brijan and Edgar. This is a great performance by Alexei. Edgar, the Englishman, from up in the Lakes District, home club of Raura Kart Club, near Cumbria, or in Cumbria. In second spot, lining up the Russian from Sochi near the Black Sea, in the south of the nation we used to know as the former Soviet Union. Alexei was not even born when the Iron Curtain fell down. He leads across the line. There's Edgar, tries to clear the visor. Visibility and at absolute minimum, the Swede Gustafson. A superb drive from Victor up into P3. Harry Thompson up into 4 as Edgar goes up the inside. Brijan will sweep around the outside. Johnny, the Englishman, will have to have another go. They will both need to do something about escaping the rest of the field, because the driver on the charge is Thompson, now up into P4 from grid number 15. Hugo Sass, the German, back to 5th. Then it's Fusco, Pizzi, Zane Maloney, Coluccio. Brilliant drive from the young Italian, Luigi, up into P9. He started out of grid number 22. He's passed already 13 karts. Luigi Coluccio, 1 spot ahead of Javier Sagrera. The Singaporean, Alex Catalyst, Maya Veg, Bastian Boos, the Dane, Theo Verneson and Dexter Patterson, the reigning world champion, stuck down in position number 15. Brijan sideways onto the straight. Edgar lines him up. Can he go down into turn number 1? Johnny, the Englishman Edgar, takes the lead here at Adria Raceway. Brijan immediately fights back. Gustafson still in P3, closing in on the leaders. He needs to catch him, he needs to pass them, because here comes Harry Thompson in P4 on the charge. 1 step off the podium from grid number 15. Brijan, the wide line, he'll get the engine RPM on the exit. Edgar looks behind him. Gustafson's driving a brilliant race, the Swede. This is only lap number 5 of 16. Thompson down the inside. Not close enough to make a move, but he's lining up the Swedish driver, Victor Gustafson, in the factory Tony Kart. Over the ripple strip goes Brijan. Gustafson down the inside. He'll take Edgar, but the Englishman will get him on the exit. He was briefly into second spot, and Thompson watched all that unfold. They come across the line. There's Edgar's lost a bit of time that time, 4/10. Thompson, fastest lap of the race, a 1:05.9. He was 7/10 of a second faster than Brijan last time round. Victor Gustafson from Sweden, Johnny the Englishman, Edgar. The race is being led by the Russian, Alexei Brijan for Team Baby Race. Sideways on the exit, he'll be in trouble here. Again locks it up under brakes. Here comes Harry once again. Thompson in P4 closing in on the leaders. Then it's Hugo Sass, Fusco still in 6. Coluccio from grid 22. Luigi Coluccio. There he is at the top of your screen. He's now in position 7. Gustafson fights his way past Edgar. Thompson, the two English drivers now 3 and 4. That gives Brijan a little bit of breathing space. They come down towards the Magny-Cours chicane. Thompson on the back of his countryman over the ripple strip. Watch them on the exit. Even in these wet conditions, they're bouncing off the rev limiter at 14,000 RPM. The 125cc Vortex engine of Brijan. Head of the Simmel power plant of Gustafson, Edgar. Gustafson now down into the lead, takes Brijan. A nice spot to do it. Although Brijan, give the Russian some credit, aggressively retakes the lead. This has been a brilliant performance from Alexei Brijan. From just outside Sochi in southern Russia near the Black Sea. Not too far from where the Winter Olympics were held just a couple of years ago, where Russia hosts the Formula One Grand Prix at the Sochi circuit. That's where Alexei was born. Now lives in Vienna in Austria. Now drives for the Baby Race team and now leads the final of the juniors here at the WSK Final Cup on a soaking wet Adria karting raceway. The end of lap number 7. Gustafson briefly, very briefly led this race. Thompson, meanwhile, has got past Edgar. The first Englishman is now Harry. Edgar off the podium. Patterson, Forza Racing teammate, P13. Into the hairpin. Gustafson down the inside will again take the lead. Can Brijan respond on the exit? Harry Thompson gets a good run also. Leaves his countryman. Johnny just a little bit behind. Then it's Sass, Fusco, Coluccio now up into P7. There's Fusco going through. The white bodywork, the LKE powered. Tony Kart for the driver from Naples. Giuseppe in P6, one spot, head of Coluccio, who's reeling in not only his countryman Fusco, but also the leaders. The fastest driver on the track from grid number 22 will be on the tail of this group before too long. Luigi Coluccio comes across the line in P7. He's just got past Zane Melody from Barbados, Sagrera, and Alex Catalyst from Singapore rounds out the 10. Thompson on the back of Brijan. Gustafson now. The Swede finally cements first spot. And he's pulling away. Thompson will try the outside line. Watch Harry get the run on the exit. Brijan struggling for traction. And Thompson goes by. Brijan into third spot. Edgar, can he get back on the podium? Can it be two English drivers? Or will the Russians split them? Alexei's done a great job so far, but he's in third place and under siege. This is half race distance. The junior final of the WSK Final Cup here at Adria Karting Raceway in Italy. So Gustafson for the Tony Kart Racing team. Thompson for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. Brijan for Baby Race. Edgar for Forza Racing up the inside of the Russian. Brijan is now off the podium. The Englishman Edgar up into third. The English men they now run second and third. But Victor Gustafson with the fastest lap has got 1.7 seconds on the rest of the field. What an awesome drive from Victor Gustafson. Qualified way down the field in qualifying with a problem. And he now leads the final. No one would have thought that, least of all him, after qualifying on Friday night. Edgar In third spot is Brijan. Fusco now under attack from Coluccio. Just ahead of them, the German Hugo Sass. Hugo in the 351 car. The Perilla-powered CRG. In fact, the first non-vortex power plant. Hugo doing a great job in P5, but he needs to get a move on because the two Italians are chasing him. There's Coluccio. He's got past Fusco from grid number 22. Luigi now up into position number 6. Hugo Sass, the German, in dismal conditions here at Adria Karting Raceway. It may be the finest kart racing circuit in the world, but short of building a roof over the entire complex, there's nothing we can do about the weather. Brijan down the inside of Edgar. Watch Hugo Sass in the CRG, tries to capitalise. Brijan and Edgar go side by side. Victor Gustafson from Sweden has now got 2.3 seconds on the rest of the field. An awesome drive from the Tony Kart pilots. Thompson in second spot. Then it's Brijan. This battle for the final step of the podium. Edgar Coluccio around the outside of Hugo Sass. Can't make it stick. The German almost makes contact with Edgar. Wow, the German and the Englishman almost took themselves out. Coluccio, watch that. Can he capitalise? Can he get past the German? That was nearly a huge moment. Different lines coming onto the straight, sure, but there was just millimetres in it between the CRG of Haas and Edgar, and Coluccio has now got past the German. What a drive up into P5 for Luigi Coluccio from grid number 22. Meanwhile, Victor Gustafson doing a superb job. Let's give him some credit. He also started from grid number 13 as well. They always say rain is the great equaliser, and you're seeing why. Has this kid got talent or what? Victor Gustafson, the Vortex-powered Tony Kart 312. Onto the straight. We wait for Thompson. The gap last time, 2.8 seconds. Here comes Harry. He's in second. It's out to 3.6 seconds. If it wasn't for the rain falling here at Adria, Victor Gustafson would be on fire. He is destroying the rest of the field here. Thompson in second, Brijan in third, Edgar fourth, Coluccio 5. Then it's Sass, Fusco, Maloney, Sagrera, and Dane Bastian Bus rounds out the 10. Edgar and Brijan trade positions one more time. There is the race leader, Victor Gustafson, from grid number 13, from a lot further back than that. After qualifying on Friday night, he was quite dejected. But wow, he is about to make up for it in the best possible way. The gap, 3.6 seconds last time. He did a 1:05.38. Only the front 5 drivers are under the 1:06. He looks behind him and says, where is everyone? Well, there's Harry. There's Brijan. Coluccio now up into P4. An incredible drive from grid number 22. I cannot imagine how nervous his parents, Sasa and Laura, are watching on live on WSK.it. Their boy has come from grid number 22, and he's still got 3 laps to get up onto the podium. The Birillard Junior team, run by former European champion and Jordan Formula One driver Giorgio Panton, are watching on his boy up into P4. You're watching on screen now Victor Gustafson from Sweden with 3.7 seconds over Harry Thompson. Over the ripple strip he goes. He doesn't want to make a mistake, but he's got this Tony Kart hooked up and flying here in Italy. Two laps now remain for Sweden's Victor Gustafson. Already with one eye on next year's World Championships, which will be held at the Kristianstad circuit in Sweden. What a fantastic way to finish the season. for the young Swede. The gap, 4.3 seconds. Thompson is in second. Brijan, Alexei, the Russian, is in third, but he is being caught by Luigi Coluccio. A lap and a half now remains for Victor Gustafson. Goes up towards the Vega sweeper. Fittingly using the Vega wet tyres in dismal conditions here in Adria for the second to last time. Still minimal steering input. Lets the car do the work. Gets good traction out of the corners. Coming down through the Magny-Cours chicane for the second to last time. Comes onto the straight. In the dry, they're doing near on 120 k's an hour. Not quite that in these wet conditions, of course. There's Thompson, and there's Brijan in P3. Can he hold off the Italian, or will it be the Russian on the final step of the podium? Victor Gustafson, 4.7 seconds from Thompson. Then it's Alexei Brijan. Coluccio in fourth. Edgar back to five. Then it's Sass, Fusco, Maloney, Bus, and Javier Sagrera rounds out the top 10. Victor Gustafson on his way to victory here at Adria Karting Raceway. The first round of the WSK Final Cup here in the pouring rain in northern Italy. He goes up through the Vega sweeper for the final time, has a quick look behind him. All the way back to Harry Thompson. Over the ripple strip into the hairpin for the final time. Who would have thought, after he qualified well down the field on Friday night, that the driver from Sweden, Victor Gustafson, would win the junior final. Gustafson takes the checkered flag with an awesome drive. Here comes Harry into second, and Coluccio on the very last corner. Has he got Brijan? Yes, the Italian from grid number 22 has taken third. Oh, wow, what a drive from both the race winner, Gustafson. He won it by 6 seconds coming from grid number 13. The driver on screen has destroyed the rest of the juniors here in driving rain here in Italy. Thompson, a good result for him. He also came from far back on the grid, grid 15 as well. Apologies for missing that, but he was up in the top 5 after just a few laps. Such is the Englishman's class. Coluccio from grid number 22 finishes third, but the day belongs to the Swede. Victor Gustafson, an awesome drive to win here in the pouring rain, the junior final here this afternoon. Remember, we started the race with the pole sitter Dexter Patterson, who would ultimately go on to finish only 14th, crossing the line down in position number 28 after missing the start. We spoke about what a great year the Forza Racing team had had. They were supposed to start on first and second on the grid. The race didn't quite pan out for Jamie Croxford's team this time, but be assured they will be back. Edgar and Brijan put on a brilliant performance. Brijan, that was a brilliant drive. He does, disappointingly for him, finish one step off the podium, but he certainly announced his arrival as a star for 2018, finishing in P4, held off the challengers. And then Victor Gustafson from grid number 13 had a couple of goes at taking the lead. Brijan did a superb job of defending, but ultimately couldn't hold off the driver from Sweden, Victor Gustafson. Once he eventually did get by, Brijan drove away to take a sensational win. That was Edgar and Brijan. Brijan was certainly up for it today, going wheel to wheel with anybody who wanted to come and fight with him. The Russian did exactly that. Unfortunately misses out on the podium by just 0.1 of a second. But the checkered flag, and Victor Gustafson wins by the length of the main straight. Thompson second, and Coluccio on the final corner takes position number